This episode of TechCrunch Live is presented by Beyond Limits. On September 8th, join a panel of AI experts and energy leaders from NVIDIA, BP, and Beyond Limits as they examine the latest advances in AI and emerging technologies for energy efficiency and dive into what challenges the energy industry faces to become more efficient, reliable, and sustainable. Sign up by clicking the registration link in the chat below. All right. Hello, and welcome to another episode of TechCrunch Live. My name is Brian Heater. I'm going to be your host on today's program. TechCrunch Live is all about helping founders build better venture-backed businesses. We usually do that by bringing together a founder and the investor who financed them to talk about how they met and how they chose each other and how they're continuing to work forward. Today, however, as we have in the last couple of weeks and as we will continue in the lead up to Disrupt, we are hosting a very special Startup Alley edition of TechCrunch Live. That means that the entire episode is going to be in the form of a pitch off where founders will share what they're building and our expert VC guests will give them feedback in real time. All companies pitching today are part of the Disrupt Startup Alley. That means that you can check them out at Disrupt. They will be exhibiting there. Disrupt goes down from September 21st to 23rd, and for reasons that should be very familiar to everyone at this point, we're going to be doing that entirely online. So you can grab yourself a ticket by using the link in the chat below. All right, now to start things off, I would like to introduce our guests. We've got two great ones today. Starting us off is going to be Neil Sequeira of Defy. Prior to co-founding Defy, Neil was the managing director at General Catalyst Partners for 11 years. He also served as the managing director of Time Warner Investments and a founding member of AOLTW Ventures. And we were also joined by Stacey Bishop of Scale Venture Partners. Stacey is a partner at Scale Venture. She currently serves on the board of directors of Abstract, Airspace, Demand Base, Extol, Lever, Namely, Navarre, and Textio. Did I get them all, Stacey?
Good enough.
Okay. And she is also I got more. She's also a founding member of AllRaise and an advisor to the University Growth Funds. All right. All of the qualifications out of the way. So I'm going to explain to you how things work really quickly. So each founder is going to give exactly a 1-minute pitch of their product, and then Neil and Stacey are going to give feedback for about 4 minutes. I think we've got 7 companies. Neil and Stacey, are you ready to do this?
Ready to go.
Awesome.
Yes, ready.
All right, let's get to it. We are going to start with Emotor is our first company. Adrian Moga, the CEO of Emotor, is joining us. Adrian, are you there? This is very much live. There we go. Okay. I can see your name. I can see your name in the chat window, Adrian. Are you with us? Yeah, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes. There we go. Awesome. All right. We can see you, Adrian.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Okay.
So here's
awesome.
what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a countdown to the timer, and then when it pops up, you're going to have a minute to pitch.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
right.
My name is Adrian Moga, and I'm the founder of Emotor, an emotional dating app. Nowadays, dating apps work on what people want to show about themselves. There are no emotions involved. That's why the dating space looks superficial. More than 70% of the users who use dating apps struggle to find a long-lasting relationship. In our app, we evaluate the origin family structure in your forming years, and we calculate a matching percentage with other users in the app. We have built an algorithm that is based on the Freudian concept of transference, in which emotions from childhood and attachment style, all that are a predictor of adult romantic relationship. In 6 years from now, the dating market will be 10.3 billion. Last year, me and my partner, we had a successful exit and we started building Emotor. We know each other for almost 30 years, and we like to say that we have a 100% match in the app.
Awesome. All right, Neil and Stacey, you got 4 minutes.
Awesome. Adrian, first question, just real quick has the app been built and have you experimented at all with folks yet?
Yeah, the app is built, it's live. We are live on Android, and this month, in the next weeks, we'll be on the iOS too.
And any usage metrics?
Excuse me?
Any usage metrics yet?
No, we launched it a few weeks ago, and we have about 200 users randomly joining the app. We just launched it.
Great. So I just some initial feedback, and then Stacey could jump in. I'll start. So look, it is congratulations on your exit. That's amazing. And for us, the fact that you've built a company and exited before means a lot. So we'd love to, learn more about your kind of path as an entrepreneur. Dating tends to be a pretty crowded space, as you know. But I do very clearly understand that you're trying to really increase and include emotion and transference into your product and make that, really something that people can find more lasting relationships. And as I think you get periodic data from your users as you've launched Android. I think that will be really important to VCs, is to make sure that people are staying on your app a long time, that they're responding to others, and that they are actually engaged in what you are offering. So yeah, look, it's a market where Bumble very quickly became a real company and went public, and a business that will be around forever. As 85% of folks are meeting online these days. The world has definitely changed from when over the last 2 decades. So look, it's a fascinating market. It is very competitive. I would just encourage you to get a little bit of data on your first users, and then definitely talk to seed investors or ourselves or others who would definitely be interested in talking to you further. And congratulations again on your exit. We're at 2 minutes. So I'll hand it over to Stacey to get some.
Well done.
Now you give me a full 2 minutes here. I'm so curious on how it's differentiated, how you're doing the matching. And I know that you probably need more time to describe that, but that could be a really interesting marketing angle of how you sort of get your app to rise above the other dating apps. So I don't know if there's more you can comment on that, but I'm really curious on that.
Yeah, there are, for each person who joins the app, he has to answer several questions. We are looking for each member in your family for the presence, implications on the quality of the relationship. That's how we extract data from each user. Everyone who joins the app will have to complete his profile, emotional profile, I might say.
Got it. So it's really picking up the emotional side of it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that'll be, I don't know if you've done much marketing to date, but that'll be an interesting angle. I mean, we all see the dating app ads online and on TV, and just how you kind of come out, the marketing side of that will be fascinating.
Yeah. At this point in time, I'm the plan I have to work first with nano influencers from Instagram in the first place. Nano influencers has more reach, open reach, than the broad influencers. It's about the nano influencer will have a 50% open rate, to say it, and someone who has more than 100,000 followers will have 2% open rate. And the cost to get a nano influencer, it's a few cents, in $1, $2, $3, I might say, when we can reach a lot of people. And we are looking to gradually working on with local influencers around the world to start building to see where we get the best traction.
Got it. Great.
Great. I think we actually do have a little extra time for a few of these today, if either of you want to go over. I was actually going to ask myself, Adrian, if you can break down what the emotional profile means. What does it actually mean to have an emotional profile of someone?
All your family members, I might say in circles, from your mother, father, brother, sisters, grandmothers and grandfathers, uncle, aunts, cousins, all members who took part of your life. Or if you have them, for example, a grandmother which you didn't have any relationship with, we will not bring it into the app. Or only the important person in your life that took part and influenced you, that you are bringing. If they, for example, if someone, if you get along better with your mother or not very well with your father, those are the points that we take and put into the algorithm and create a matching percentage with other user in the app. It's clear?
Yeah, so it sounds like it's relationship based. I think Stacey, you had a follow up as well.
No, I think we covered it. I was fascinated to understand how the matching. So it's kind of matching up people who get along with their mothers, match them up. People who get along with their fathers, those who get along with both. So interesting. Were there, just really quick, were there studies based that is a good way to do relationship matching? Did you build that on some type of research?
Yeah, it's this type of this Freudian concept is using a lot of therapies and a lot of social interactions. And there is a guy from Germany who did a test on 3,000 families, where he found that the best relationship you can have is to the person you had a relation with is the best match is the one that it's the opposite with you.
Got it. Awesome. Adrian, thank you so much. Cool. All right, there we go. So Freudian dating, I think, is the is the elevator pitch that I'm hearing here. So we've got our next company coming up. Catherine Grill is the co-founder and CEO of, we're going to try this, Neolth. I can't tell if that's an L or an I. Catherine, can you give me some
Neolth?
Some
that
feedback?
Was perfect,
Neolth.
Brian.
Okay.
Neolth, yeah.
One of the two. Awesome. So we got you. You're online. I can see you. Everything's going great. What's going to happen is you will see a timer pop up shortly. We'll give you a quick countdown, and then you'll have a minute to pitch.
Great.
All right. And you are go.
Hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Grill, the CEO of Neolth. There are 40 million students in the US who feel an overwhelming pressure to succeed that's so intense, it affects their mental health. The Neolth app makes it easy for them to manage this pressure. Whether they use our self-guided breathing exercises, our video series where real students talk about their mental health, or even our live stream yoga classes, our users see reductions in stress up to 39% after just 12 weeks. We sell directly to high schools and universities who pay an annual price per student. We've established ambassador chapters in 171 schools where our ambassadors are advocating for Neolth to accelerate sales. We've contracted with 10 schools and 1 health insurance. These organizations serve over 5 million students. We've raised $700,000 and we're continuing to grow on our mission to help students. Thank you.
Great. Stacey, you want to kick us off since Neil started last time?
Sure. Well, as a parent of a high schooler, I'm fascinated by this and can completely understand the stress level. What made you decide to target? I mean, obviously that's a great target market, but what made you decide specifically to target the high school college market?
Yeah, so Stacey, that's actually my background. I was a clinician, a therapist working with this patient population, and then did my PhD in neuroscience. And I was working at Children's National, which is the pediatric hospital in Washington, DC. I was running NIH research, so behavioral health studies, looking at mental health of these teens and young adults, and kept hearing this feedback from them that, well, we love these community-based in-person health programs, but we'd really love something digital and would be highly engaged with that. So based on my real-world experience from working with this age group in patient care, we decided to kind of move out to Silicon Valley and to found this company.
Got it. And do you have an app in market today with some of these schools and students?
We do. We launched our native app this past March, both iOS and Android, and we also have a desktop and tablet version.
Okay. And what are some of the more specifically, so it's the community, and then it also sounds like there's some exercises on it as well. What's probably the more important part, the community element?
We are finding what we're hearing from our customers selling to the schools is that they're really excited about how comprehensive our platform is because it has everything. So what we do is assessment, continuous health tracking, sharing that data back with students so they can start to build insight about their stress and health. If the students consent and the schools want, we can share those analytics back to the school, which we find is really powerful in the sales process. Yes, we also have those self-guided relaxation practices. So anything from mindfulness to breathing to guided imagery to creative art. And we found that the students spend about 30% of their time in that module. But you kind of hit the nail on the head. The community module is also really important. We have live stream events like our yoga, our discussions with students and clinicians. We have vlogs from our students that we moderate, but they're talking about their own lived experiences within mental health. And then we also have expert advice videos, which we make more like YouTube style videos between 2 and 15 minutes. And we have different healthcare professionals who are content creators and upload new video series every month. And the students are spending a lot of time in that section as well. So the self-guided relaxation practices in the community module is really where we're seeing a lot of that engagement.
Got it.
Awesome.
Neil,
Dr. Groh, congratulations. Like you've done a lot given your launch in March. Can you talk a little bit how you reached out to 171 schools and how that process goes and how you onboard a school?
So what was really fascinating with us is that last year in 2020, as we were launching this app, we had 700 inbounds from students. So this is high school and college age students who didn't just want to test out the app, but they wanted to be part of the company and work at the company. So Neil, with that 171 chapters, what we decided to do is utilize those students, start chapters or clubs at these different schools and really onboard them and mobilize them to start to accelerate the sales process, share this app with their friends, and really start to grow our user base and our sales process. So it was just based on all those interests, inbound interest from the students, that we decided to start this ambassador program and weave it into our go-to-market strategy.
Well, incredibly impressive that you were able to, basically organically grow that base. As you look forward and you're selling directly to schools, do you think you'll have a sales force, or how do you think about doing that?
Yes, we do. We do have a sales force right now. And I know we're short on time, but we also have some go-to-market partners. Happy to talk about that more. But we've partnered with other ed tech companies and nonprofits who already have a large base of schools throughout the country that we've partnered with, and we're able to quickly kind of scale up through their networks.
I know we're running short on time, but Brian,
we're okay to go.
Yeah, Brian said we go.
Can I ask one question? Because it sounds like we're okay. Are people anonymous on the app, or are they actually using their real profile?
Yeah, so people are anonymous on the app. We don't right now do any peer-to-peer connection. So when we do start to do actual peer-to-peer connection, it would be anonymous. Right now, what people are seeing, if it's a content creator, it might be a healthcare practitioner or professional who's uploading videos that we moderate beforehand. They usually prefer to use their full name. The students who are uploading like their vlogs about their mental health experience, they're actually ambassadors who we know and work at the company. And we also moderate those videos beforehand. We use typically their first name and not their last name to protect privacy. But right now, that's the way that the app has been working. And as I said, as we go into more features around community like chat, that will be anonymous.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I would think adoption would be easier if it's that way.
Catherine,
Dr. Grill, go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead. I was just going to ask if there's a hardware component that you see to all this. Obviously, we all have sensors on our wrists at this point, and they're collecting a lot of our metrics. A lot of these companies are using them for things like mindfulness. Is that something that you can and expect to tap into?
I think we definitely can. One of the things that is really kind of close to my heart is making sure that everyone has kind of equity and access to care. And we want to make sure that some of the students from maybe lower income homes or lower income districts that we're working with would be able to access the full suite of features on Neolth. So for that reason, we built the initial version, which is just completely self-guided without any, linking to hardware. But I do think it's a possibility, and it's something we just want to get creative with, making sure that every student would then be able to access that feature.
I was just going to comment, Dr. Grill, congratulations. And you've obviously accomplished a lot with $700,000 and you've launched the app. And folks, it's a space that a lot of capital has flown into, but not as specific. So there've been generalized platforms, and having more specific targeted on high school and college students seems to make a ton of sense. So congratulations. I'm sure there's a lot of folks who'd love to talk to you.
Thanks so much, Neil. Thanks, Brian and Stacey.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. Cool. All right. Coming up next, Tonner Technologies. I asked before, I got the pronunciation right. Kathy Tonner. You can correct me if I butchered it this time. Hey, Kathy. There we go. I think you're muted, Kathy. I can see your mouth moving. I can see the frantic movements of a person trying to speak. All right, we'll give Kathy a second. While we wait, Neil and Stacey, obviously mental health is something that is very much top of mind over the past year and a half. I think we've seen a big spike in investments. Is it something that the two of you are have been more bullish about since the beginning of the pandemic?
I'll comment quickly. We've been quite bullish about the space for quite some time. We spent a lot of time with Calm early in their development. Sadly, weren't able to do the growth round. It's a great company, and obviously spent some time with Headspace over the years and others. Now with the merger, there's a behemoth in the market. But we continue to look at and invest in earlier stage businesses in the space. So we are quite excited about it.
And we haven't spent as much time, but we know it's become very important for companies. We know that a lot of businesses are looking as a benefit to their employees. So it's definitely a huge space. And I like this one where it's going after the schools so that it's offering it to their students rather than trying to go direct to the students themselves.
Great.
Hello?
Kathy? Hey,
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. I see two of you. We'll use the one of you that's actually talking, though. I think is probably my preference at this point. All right. Kathy Tonner of Tonner Technologies. Hello, Kathy. Thanks for joining us, both of you. We're going to see a countdown clock is going to pop up in a few seconds. Okay. And you have 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Kathy Tonner, the CEO and founder of Tonner Technologies, a development company, and our first app is PermissionPal. As a school nurse, I understand the hassle involved with obtaining parental consent. It's very costly and time-consuming tracking down the parents so their children will not be left out. Well, PermissionPal solves that problem by eliminating paper and digitizing the consent process. Our easy-to-use platform allows parents to complete and sign our fraud-resistant forms digitally, with a secure integrated payment portal and a unique fundraising tool. And what I like, all the forms are customizable. Currently, there are over 132,000 K-12 schools. 30% of the market we could potentially service in the Midwest and West Coast region. We hope to get 20% of the market, which is approximately 10,000 schools. Our goal is to use a subscription-based model and target principals and school districts. So say goodbye to pesky papers and hello to online authorization with PermissionPal.
All right. So my first question to Neil and Stacey is going to be whether enough of that came through that you feel, or maybe you have more questions because I
think enough came through. Right. So
okay.
I think we heard it. Kathy, good to meet you, and thanks for taking the time. Couple of questions. So I've invested in a company called Securely that sells to schools and eventually exited, had a good exit. And I guess the challenge sometimes in selling to schools is budget. Have you talked to schools, and have you talked to how they intend to purchase this or work with you, and how you actually reach out to them?
Well, we're trying to see how many like Montessori schools would be interested first, because they have a lot of preschoolers, and I think we're going to start with them because they have so many field trips and consent forms that we thought once we start with the Montessori schools, then we could advance to the charter schools, the private schools, and eventually the public schools. And for some of the public schools who have a tight budget, we were going to give them like a free subscription, and then eventually turn on the payment portal, and then eventually the fundraising portal. So, and we're going to give people credit if they
All right. Unfortunately,
principals to join.
I think we might have to call an audible on this one, so to speak.
Kathy, appreciate
not ask questions, but maybe make a few comments.
Sure. Yeah. No. If the two of you, yeah, Kathy. Unfortunately, we just kind of completely lost the audio towards the end there, but it sounds like Stacey and Neil have feedback to go on.
Yeah, I mean, I think this makes a ton of sense. I think Neil brings up a valid point of like, how do you get into the schools? It's hard to ask the question. I'm assuming this is for all permission related slips, like field trips, whatever it is that they're the schools are doing. And I'm just wondering if this needs to be bundled with something else that the school is already buying. If there's somebody you can partner with getting into the schools. Whether it's, the e-learning side of it or somehow where this becomes an add-on, might be an easy way as a, partner to go in. But I do think it's interesting. I mean, this kind of reminds me of, I kind of want a DocuSign to go into this, because having to sign all those forms and make sure your kid hands them back, I just wanted to do it all electronically.
I totally agree with Stacey. And last November, I was elected to the school board of my town. And so I have some experience looking at different technology apps and things. And I think the strategy of building either, as Stacey said, alongside a partner makes a lot of sense. There's a fair amount of folks who are in schools today. And I also heard you, Kathy, before you cut out, that you would like to build other applications as well. So as you build those, having a suite can be really helpful, and solving with one problem, especially if you're, we happen to be a public school district, if you're able to be flexible on the cost, and obviously your margins would allow you to do that, would be a great opportunity. So I agree with Stacey. If you could find a partner who can bundle with you and then go to market in that way, makes a lot of sense. And building from there on other applications that are useful for parents and kids. So congratulations, good luck with the app.
Great. Thanks so much, Kathy. Unfortunately, I've got to cut you a little bit short this time. I got that. Thank you for joining us. I would like to take this opportunity to remind everybody that they, along with everybody else that you're seeing on today's show and the past few of these that we've done, I think we'll be doing another one of these next week as well. Everyone will be exhibiting at the Disrupt Startup Alley, so you can actually go and engage with people a little bit more directly there. Especially if any of these companies have piqued your interest. So Disrupt, once again, we are going all virtual this year. It's shaping up to be our best show yet. We've announced a ton of guest speakers and actually have a few on the way. I think I have a big post going up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. So far, we've announced Stuart Butterfield, Melanie Perkins, Ryan Reynolds. We just announced, I think yesterday, Tope Awatona are just a few of the speakers that are going to be joining us at the event. And we'll have panels on how to raise your first dollars, how to iterate your product, and how to land your first customers, to name a few. And of course, we've got our best startup battlefield cohort yet. So if you like people pitching on stage against each other, then you're very much going to enjoy the show. I think we have a couple more for today as well. Coming up next, we've got FortyGuard is the company. Jihad Dadik is the founder and general director of FortyGuard. Jihad, are you there? Hello.
Hi guys, can you see me?
There we go. We can see, and as a bonus, we can hear you as well. So I think we're firing on all cylinders now. So you're going to see a timer pop up on your screen. That's going to give you a minute-long countdown to give your pitch, and you are go.
So FortyGuard was born from the Urgency to Cool series. We target roadways because they make 40% of a city and they can reach up to 100 degrees Celsius during summertime. There are current techniques that selfishly target the roadway performance, and they use reflective pigments that are harmful to pedestrians while changing the city appearance at a huge cost. So FortyGuard is an urban cooling enterprise system that collects city data with 2 sensing layers and 4 devices to mitigate expanding heat emergencies at local levels. With roadways made of asphalt and concrete pavers, our software maps heat footprints and guides the strategic placement of our colorless coating to reduce multiple surface temperatures in a cost-effective manner. We offer a heat reduction ability by using our turnkey system, which provides a data baseline of heat with an industrial solution that doesn't change the roadway technical properties. We're a team of different engineering and business discipline people with a background in engineering working together to advance our vision and improving people's lives. Thank you.
Awesome. A lot of info for a minute. So Neil and Stacey, have at it.
Yeah, I just want to ask a clarifying question. So it sounds like you're putting in sensors and also protective coating. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we first deploy the sensors so we can create the data.
So you know where?
Yes, so we put them on the core surface of the roadway on an ambient level, 30 to 150 centimeters. We also deploy them on cars so they can collect temperature on a human level. And we use existing fleet of cars such as taxi or shuttle cars. We also fly drones so they can conduct surface analysis of thermal heat.
Got it. And then what it does is it identifies where you should put this thermal coating, like for the coating, because for example, something that's sitting in the sun for 5 hours in the afternoon in the peak summer probably definitely needs it versus things are in the shade.
Yeah, so we don't want to apply the coating everywhere. We want to strategically identify those heat zones. And that's why we process all of this data into the software, and the software will create a heat map so decision makers would know where and how to apply. Not only that, it will also give them $1 return per square meter, so they will find an ROI on the application because it adds a cost into their contracting value.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. And have you started selling this?
Yeah, so we're working with the government of UAE. In Abu Dhabi, we're deploying this in Masdar City. That's a city that was built in 2008 only to cool Abu Dhabi city.
Oh, wow. Okay, fascinating. Okay. Yeah, and so then you're selling to like governments and whatnot to get this implemented?
Yeah, so we get through 2 channels, either the policymakers, and this is how we got into Masdar City, or we work with the contractors, whether that is consultants, designers, operators, or material suppliers. They connect us with what we call our main clients, the stakeholders. Those are government or private developers or operators as well. So they could be property developers, oil and gas companies, military companies, or anything.
Got it. Fascinating. Neil, I'll let you jump into the questions, but I'm fascinated by this.
Thanks, Stacey. And like Stacey, Jihad, one thing that I applaud you for is it's not like every other business we see rolling through here. So it's nice to see something different and creative. You touched on ROI. So, I can definitely see this being a gigantic problem in the UAE and in Dubai and in Kuwait and certain markets. Tell me first about where the ROI comes from for, is it, because you have, challenges with the roadway and transport, or is it, and is the market, how large is the market? So where's the ROI and how large is the market?
Okay, so the ROI comes from different things, such as the conditioning to improve operational cost and CapEx, as well as the reduction in roadways maintenance. So if you apply the coating and it prevents thermal damages as well as reducing the heat on the surface, that's how you increase the durability of the road. So let's say, for instance, if the road is built for 15 years, we can increase that durability by 7 years, so it's become 22. If the cost of maintenance for those roads is, let's say, at 100% every year, we reduce that by 50%. Those are for existing developments. To be built, so design stage developments, we add that percentage into more or less leasable or sellable space. Second, mitigating or increasing the application of taxes, and that is when it comes to carbon. And third, the modification that increase or decrease the selling or renting price of related space.
It's a great answer on ROI, so that's fantastic. Thank you. And just complete the thought on: you think do other markets have such an issue? The ROI on the 15-year roadway, I totally get, but is it outside of? Could it be outside of non-very hot areas?
Yes. So, for instance, we've been approached very recently by the authorities in the Netherlands. They have a bridge, and during summer, so Urban Heat Island is in 400 cities around the world. It could be even in cold cities. They have a bridge, and they have to close the bridge during afternoon time from 12 to 3 p.m. Because it causes rutting, and the penetration rate doesn't allow the roadway to heat more than 55 degrees. So with the application of FortyGuard implemented there, we can open the road and avoid all of those losses for 3 hours every day when it comes to traffic.
That's great.
For instance, we are approached by the health authorities. They're flying drones to transport vaccine between cities here in the UAE for the infrastructure itself, because it's made of asphalt or concrete pavers. They want to also implement the technology so they can reduce temperature as those drones operate. So you can feel that anyone who requires a relevant heat reduction ability would utilize this enterprise system that we can apply it there.
I at least speak for myself when I say that, I'm sort of a little bit out of my comfort zone with this specific topic. I think it might be to some degree new to all of us. So, I love it if you can give me some context as far as whether there are direct competitors in the space. And, obviously, if this is a big known problem, there is the assumption that there are either government bodies or companies out there trying to offer some kind of solution.
So we've carried out a detailed market research by selecting 15 companies that are very much in similar fields. We discovered that none of the competitors are able to reach close to 50% of our combined analytics and industrial solution offering. And also by comparing FortyGuard's position, none of the companies have listed the ability to achieve the same reduction in temperature or provide a cheaper treatment to integrate within the roadway. And it's important to note that none of those have a surface solution that offer a software assessment to evaluate and monitor the urban heat effect. So I don't like to say that we are dominating. We're in competition, but probably very far from competition when it comes to others and what they offer.
And it sounds like, you've got a number of different platforms to collect potentially a lot of information. Is this saleable information that you're collecting beyond this immediate problem that you're trying to solve?
Yeah, so when it comes to scalability, this is one of the things that we're tapping on, is how we can utilize data so we can enhance our software offerings. But currently we use that data for the client so they can create a baseline. And we use that as well so we can choose or make informed decisions about the technical material that can be used on the roadway so we can modify its temperature. There are a lot of aspects when it comes to the temperature, especially the surface properties. They're different. Even penetration rate, let's say between cities like Abu Dhabi and Dubai are different. The bitumen source is different. So all of that would really change the mix design and how you offer your solution.
Great. Well, that was super informative. Jihad, thank you so much for joining us.
Noise, I really enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Thank you.
So we do have, I think we've got one more company pitching us next, but Neil and Stacey, I wanted to put this to you. As I said before, a little bit out of my comfort zone here. And oftentimes, when companies are pitching us for coverage on the site, it's something that perhaps we don't have a lot of background in. And I'm curious what each of you do individually when a company is coming to you with a clear problem and a very interesting product, but you just don't really know a lot about the space.
So that is, Brian, great question. And it's core to the job. So it's really a matter of reaching out to your network and finding people in the network who actually know the space. And Stacey and I have both been doing this for about 20 years. And after that period of time,
Stacey cringed a little bit as he said that.
I know, it's that moment of like, it's true though. We did an investment like almost 10 years ago.
And we've been lucky to co-invest together a couple of times. And in those cases, one of the companies we're investors in is the logistics software business called Airspace. And in that case, we might not have been the most educated on that type of logistics software, but if you can reach out to 5 to 10 people in your network and they can help you diligence why this is a great company or why it's interesting, that's really what we need to lean on, because that is fundamental to what venture folks do. We won't know everything about every business. Sometimes there are areas where we have strengths. Stacey's great in SaaS software, for instance, but for us, we do have to leverage our network. We have folks called Sages, which are like venture partners that help us with that. But I'll let Stacey give her thoughts as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, and sometimes in some cases, we will just not engage because we feel like we can't cross the line. And then we'll, as far as getting to the investment decision, and then you want to pass, if you really believe in it, you want to try to help them find another investor who might be a good fit. But sometimes that does happen. But I will say in the past few years, we as a firm have been investing in more frontier tech, like, for example, where AI might be applied to healthcare, fascinating things happening there. And so we're constantly expanding the footprint of the types of things that we look at. But relying on the experts is the key, because we can't know everything. We're just trying to be that judge of like, do we know enough to believe, to lean in, to make the investment?
Yeah, I think, you bring up something interesting with healthcare. Obviously this last company that we spoke to, it's infrastructure. So they're dealing with, it sounds like, national and local governments. We talked to another company before that are really, that's really working through the school system. So that's an important piece of the puzzle too, is figuring out these sorts of these partnerships. And healthcare specifically, right? There's a lot of hurdles that a company needs to cross in order to really bring a product to market.
Right. Because sometimes even you're getting into FDA approval type things, which can get very tricky. And also this last company, I think there's another interesting factor is it's not just software, it's a material science that you're doing. So you'll, be spinning up the model on working capital and CapEx spend and things like that are more unique. Most things you see are more software related, but it's fascinating what they're doing. I mean, it makes a ton of sense.
I would just add to Stacey and Brian, the industries like infrastructure or like healthcare, IT is making a huge impact right now. So, before it was just a material. Now you can use drones and technology to figure out if the roadway is hot. In healthcare, we've made a lot of software IT bets because they had been very legacy. And now you're able to see software and AI, as Stacey said, impacting an industry that has traditionally been a little bit long the tooth in technology. So that you're seeing huge movement in those areas that have traditionally been more legacy businesses.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely we're seeing a lot more happening in what we'll call the vertical markets, because they were slower to adopt initially. And so healthcare is a gigantic market, as we all know, and fascinating to see that there's finally technology and more happening there, which could be, benefit all of us from, since we all use healthcare.
Sure. Yeah, you look at infrastructure and healthcare, and you can see two things that are very clearly broken, kind of across the board, and need some good technology solutions there. So obviously there's a lot of space there for a lot of companies going forward. Speaking of, we have one more company left. Last company of the day is going to be Folio. Claire Carroll is the founder of Folio. This will be our last pitch off company. Let's give Claire a second to join us. There we go. Everyone. Hey, Claire. Awesome. So you're going to see a countdown clock on your screen, and then you'll have a minute to pitch. And you are live.
Folio is an online bookstore that uses a product recommendation engine to match Gen Z and millennials to the books that they'll actually want to read. There are over 1 million books published each year, and as an avid reader, I wanted both a tool to break through the noise and a better online book shopping experience when I couldn't go in store during the pandemic. So I quit my job in tech consulting at IBM in May to build Folio. We're a social first brand, and since our launch on August 3rd, our Instagram has been growing over 50% each week with an engagement rate of 18%, which is unheard of for brands. With no promotion, our ambassador program received 75 applications in the first 2 weeks. And in just 1 month of sales, we've had 16% of our customers return to buy again. My personal thesis is that books should be sold more like makeup and skincare, especially to the Gen Z crowd, which I would love to talk more about. I finished pretty early.
Yeah, we got plenty more time to talk about it. Neil and Stacey.
So we are small investors, full disclosure, in Fable, which is a company that is more focused on social, less on book selling. But Padma is a wonderful CEO. We're big believers in what you're doing, Claire. So and we actually have a big reader here who is a millennial, and she definitely believes that there's a need for what you're developing. You said you wanted to go into a little bit more about your customer and where that need exists. Maybe you could share that with us and why you kind of see that adoption so rapidly.
For sure. And Neil, I know that you are investor in Fable. I did a little bit of background research, so I don't want to step on any toes here. So we'll tread lightly. But over the
have at it. This is the time.
I know,
Bring it.
I know.
Let's get crazy.
Exactly. Over the pandemic, I started to post on my own Instagram stories some book reviews on the books that I was liking. And even though I don't have a huge following, it's just mostly my friends and family. My friends started reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, do you think I would like this book? Like, how did you like this or that?" And a lot of the book recommendation process that's typically done in word of mouth doesn't really have a centralized place on the digital sphere. So people have been co-opting existing platforms like Instagram and TikTok, which are named Book Talk and Bookstagram, in the sub-communities to post their own reviews, ratings, recommendations. And I realized that while there were these places for people to be social, the places to buy physical books, at least online, really only were Amazon, bookshop.org, which didn't allow for a lot of product discovery, and also the product delivery, the unboxing experience just was not up to par with what we've been seeing in other e-commerce brands. And that's part of the reason why my audience already has kind of embraced Folio, just because this is what they come to expect when they buy things online, this awesome unboxing experience and the existing social community that they can go online on Instagram, on TikTok, and talk to other customers of the brand. And I built something that I wanted. I didn't know why it didn't already exist. And so luckily others in the post-grad age range seem to think the same.
That's awesome. So you're not an Amazon affiliate, you're selling the book directly?
Nope. As you can see behind me, I hold inventory. I sell all the books. I know. I live in my Chelsea apartment in New York City. I live amongst I don't know how many hundreds of books.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
That is great. Very entrepreneurial to quit your job. And
thanks.
We are huge believers. I'll let Stacey comment, but congratulations. The stat that amazes me is Goodreads only raised $3 million to get to 15 subscribers. People care, or 15 members, 15 million members. People care that your generation cares. There's a big group of you out there. Keep going, because it's a huge believer. Stacey, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask. I just wanted to ask you real quick, since you mentioned the fact that you're essentially living in a supply closet, which it's New York, and we all are. But I'm looking at the books behind you, and clearly there are 4 or 5 copies of a few different titles. So, how did you get to the point to each of those specific books, and why are those the ones that you currently have in your inventory?
Yeah, so luckily, first off, I'm luckily able to do just-in-time inventory from our wholesale seller, Ingram, so I don't have to hold massive amounts of inventory, even though I have 200 unique titles. I only have to hold a couple copies of each book and then can order as needed. So that reduces a lot of that heavy inventory, that backlog that I might need if I'm making a CPG brand, for example. But the way that we choose our books is mostly based on what our customers are already liking and what we predict that they'll like in the future. We know that our customer primarily is 20 to 30, skews female. And so we use existing social trends, like what types of books are trending, what authors do people really like, what categories, and build off of that to, the existing, I guess, book popularity, and also kind of nudge them in the direction of books that we think that they'll like, which has also worked pretty well.
Got it. Is the primary channel you're doing this all on Instagram?
So our storefront is built on Shopify, but since we're a social first brand, I'm not sure if you've heard of like Glossier or those different Gen Z type beauty communities. While their e-com is done, on Shopify or on their own in-house platform, most of their sales channels are organic. Like we have already, what is it? It's like something like 32% of our customers post about us, and we don't pay them to do that. Like they bought from us and then post on their own social channels. So we use UGC. Most of our content, we don't pay for advertising. And that's the way that the majority of our customers find us, is through our Instagram or our affiliate program.
Got it. So you're helping to curate these titles and then promote them out and then directly sell to the customers. And then it sounds like the unboxing is another thing. I have a daughter who's very into that, creates YouTube videos with her unboxing certain things. So I understand that that's super important, that maybe we didn't pay attention to. So I imagine they're boxed up in nice little boxes, and people are probably even creating videos of that when they get their book because they're so excited.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why we've had such high percentages of customers posting about us, just because they're not getting a book in a bag like they do it on Amazon. Like it looks pretty. They want to post about it. Again, that's something that they've paid for the book. They basically are paying us to promote us, but it's just because we've created such an awesome experience and brand ethos that they're proud to be associated with us.
I'm just curious, how do your prices compare to Amazon?
Sure. So we actually have kind of a unique pricing system. So first off, we don't discount from the list price. We just don't want to go down that road. And we know that customers, we give a 10% discount for first-time buyers, but our reward system rewards repeat buyers. So we don't need to discount when it is a brand new book. However, we do have a second tier, you might call it, of overstock books. So we help brick and mortar retailers manage their inventory. And so if a brick and mortar retailer is stuck with a backlog, the title that they can't move, but we know, hey, this might match up with our audience, we're able to buy that for about $2 per book and then mark it up to a price that is comparable to Amazon's, but is still could be about $14 for a hardcover book. This is a book that's never been purchased. It's not a return. It's just been sitting in a box. And a brick and mortar retailer somewhere just, couldn't move it for whatever reason. Maybe it was a pandemic, maybe they closed down. And so kind of this dual system that we're using allows us to get brand new books and push those out to the markets, but also kind of recoup some of those, help brick and mortar retailers manage their inventory and sell books at a great price to consumers that a lot of times beat Amazon's.
Great.
Cool. Actually, yeah, real quick. So Neil earlier had mentioned Goodreads, which obviously is, as
Amazon,
which is Amazon, and as an older millennial myself, I certainly remember the heyday of Goodreads. I'm curious to get your take on them as a social network, and whether there are similar elements that you're using that you're looking to use in terms of reviews, rating, and the sort of sharing that they do over there.
Absolutely. So I've been using loosely quoted Goodreads for years. I don't have an active profile, but the UI is just so clunky. Amazon bought it around 2007, and honestly, it hasn't been updated since then. So people use Goodreads, but somewhat begrudgingly. It has utility, but it doesn't have much style, much form. So what we're trying to do is to remove the need to go to Goodreads to make that book buying decision. We're trying to move all the decision on book buying to that one page, the product page that you're presented with on Folio. I know I had used to spend hours, scrolling through Goodreads or looking at different lists to try to figure out, will I even like this thing? And while the social aspect of Goodreads is something that we're still looking to bring in-house, possibly, we think that also can be, somewhat replicated on those existing social platforms like Instagram, like TikTok.
Awesome. Claire, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Claire.
Cool. Well, Stacey and Neil, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
great.
Awesome. Thanks everybody else for joining us as well. Quick reminder that Disrupt is coming up on September 21st through the 23rd. All of the companies that you saw here today are going to be part of our Startup Alley. So please join us in a couple of weeks for that. And join us next week because TechCrunch Live goes down every Wednesday at noon Pacific time at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And we will see you next week.